Hi guys, and this is the next session on Excel relative referencing. And one of the most important part of learning Excel is to know relative referencing, right? So let's get started on first understanding what I mean by relative referencing. So as with the previous lectures, when we were looking at a cell address, right? So if you look on the value out here on the left, it shows me F10, right? So if I put in is equal to, right? So every formula in Excel, first of all, starts with an equal to sign. Absolute necessity, always remember that, okay? Unless, of course, you're just willing to write some letters out here, which does not really require an equal to sign. But since you're using a spreadsheet, you would want to do some calculations, right? So even if you'd want to do a manual calculation, you will have to start with equal to sign. And then let's say if I just want to do a multiplication of 15 multiplied with, let's say, 10, right? So I would press shift and 8 for this multiplication sign out here, and which is denoted by star, right? And I would put the 10 number, right? So that would give me the multiplication. So basically what I mean to say is that any form of calculation would require you to start with an equal to sign, right? So I started with an equal to sign. Now we want to learn about what is relative referencing, right? So the way to understand this is very simple. So I'm going to take a very simple example out here. So I typed in equal to sign. Now you can use your cursor, okay, which is just your mouse, which you can obviously use to navigate across the spreadsheet, or you could use your arrow keys, right? So just your left, right, and down arrow keys after putting in the equal to sign to go to a particular cell. So I, let's say, went into a cell of 102, right? So this shows me E8, right? And if you see to the left, it's exactly showing the same thing, right? It was showing E8, right? So that's the address of that cell. All right. Now if I press enter, right, of course it shows me 102, but that was not the point, right? So it has to show 100 because obviously you linked 102 from the cell, right? Now is where we will learn what exactly I mean by relative referencing. Okay, so whenever you link something, Excel captures a code. Okay, so just to make it very clear, I'll just keep on writing it so that you never miss this. Captures a code. All right, now what do I mean by capturing a code? All right, so let's see what that means. Okay, since I've already linked 102 in this cell, right, which is F12. In the F12 cell, I have linked the 102, which is E8. All right, so this is E8 and I am in F12, right? Now let's press Control and C. Okay, that's for copy. Okay, just bear in mind Control button in your keyboard and the C button, right? So that's a basic window functionality of Control plus C. So once we press Control plus C, you can see that the cell is highlighted now. All right. So uh, once this is highlighted, which means the Excel has copied the code, right? It has captured the code. All right. Now let's see what happens if I just change the location of copying this code anywhere in Excel. All right. So let's say just to keep it very simple, let's go to the next cell to the right and press Control and V. Okay, so pasting it is Control plus V, right? So now it shows me 21, right? Now why did that happen, right? And let's try to copy it again, Control plus C, and let's go to the left and let's press Control V. So it's showing me 77, right? Let's now make a vertical movement and let's go to this cell, F11, and paste it, and let's see what happens. Control C and press Control V, so that shows me 0. All right, and if I go one step down from my original location, then let's see what Excel will show us. So it's showing me 0. Now why is this happening? All right, so the reason why this is happening is the way to check the referencing, as we discussed in the last class, there's a concept of formula bar. So this is the formula bar, right? But there is also a mechanism to see the formula bar out here itself. Okay, although this is the major formula bar, but you can't always keep on looking up, so you can just look at the formula bar out here itself. The way to look at it is to double click out here. Okay, so once you double click, it shows the formula bar, right? So this is just the formula bar, and a shortcut key for formula bar, I'll just write it down here so that you can identify when you're doing it. So it's F2, right? Now most of the keyboards will work with the F2 key. If in case this does not work, then you just add the Fn key, the function key, plus F2 key. Okay, some keyboards might have different functionalities for F2. All right, the F keys, right? So if I go to this cell and I use the shortcut key F2, right, it shows me E8. If I go to the exactly to the right and I press F2 again, it shows me F8. See how the movement has changed, right? So it has just moved to the right, right? When I copied this to the left, and if I press F2, it shows me 77. It has moved one step to the left, right? When I copied this up, it's moved one step up, right? And when I copied it down, and if I check the referencing, it has gone one step down, right? So what is exactly happening, right? So you have to understand what Excel is trying to do. So when I first selected 102, what it did is it tried to check what the distance is between the cell which I am in, all right, the cell which I am in, and the distance between 102 and this cell. All right, so if you see, if you just forget about everything and just try to calculate the distance in a linear fashion, so it would be 1. Okay, this is the direction that Excel will try to calculate. Okay, so the distance between this cell and this cell is 1 step up, 2 step up, 3 step up, 4 step up, 1 step to the left. All right, so 4 step up, 1 step to the left. Okay, so the code which gets registered, okay, the code which got registered it, or the language or the direction, whatever you want to call it, right? 4 step up and 1 step to the left. All right, so now let's see if that's actually true. All right, so if we come to this cell, okay, and if we try to calculate the same distance, okay, let's see, 1 2 3 4, 1 step to the left. And if we go to this cell where 77 is written, and if we try to do the same thing, 1 2 3 4, 1 step to the left. Let's do it out here on this cell. 1 2 3 4, 1 step to the left. And similarly for this cell as well, 1 2 3 4, 1 step to the left. And if you just want to verify, you could just press F2 and you can see that it's actually taken the blank cell. So that's relative referencing, guys. All right, so that's the code which gets registered at Excel whenever you link a cell, and then if you copy it across, it shows the value based on the code which it gets registered, right? So that's the first part. All right, now the second part of this is, obviously it is not very helpful all the time when we are doing this, right? Sometimes we do not want it to change, right? I don't want this referencing to change, right? And that's when I want to freeze the referencing, right? So what is my original referencing? My original referencing is 102, and what I want is, I want Excel to show me 102 towards the right and show me 102 towards the left, and similarly up and down. I want Excel to just keep on showing me 102 as the reference, right? So when you're trying to understand referencing, right, you have to understand movement, right? Excel, if you see, which we discussed in the previous classes, was that on the top you've got columns, right, which are lettered, and you've got rows to the left which are numbered, right? So and whenever you actually check the referencing also, it shows you E and 8, right? So E stands for the column, right? So this is the column, right? And 8 is the row, which is this, right? So intersection of both is basically the area where the value is there, right? Now let's say if I want Excel to not change the referencing, there's a concept of a dollar sign or freezing the referencing, right? Now the shortcut key for putting the dollar sign is to first open the formula bar, F2, all right, remember the same thing. And now if I press F4, okay, so now there are two currency dollar sign which comes before E, which is the column, and 8, which is the row. Okay, so Excel understands it this way: the dollar is before E, which means E has to be fixed. That means it cannot move to the right or to the left. All right, and if a dollar is before 8, it means it cannot move either to the 9 or to 7. Right, so no vertical, no horizontal movement. All right, now if you keep pressing F4 one more time, okay, now you can see the variation of the referencing. Now there is a dollar before 8, right, which means you only want the vertical movement to be restricted. All right, but you do not really want the horizontal movement to be restricted. That means E will change to F, the referencing will change to F and to D. Okay, but the vertical movement will never change. Right, let's press F4 one last time. This is the third variation of the freezing the referencing. Now you can see there's a dollar before E, and similarly what you mean to say is it should not move from E to F or E to D, right? So let's try this out. Okay, so first let's try with the first default option, which is fixing both the referencing. All right, and let's press enter. Okay, and copy this to the right, copy this to the left, copy this up, and copy this down. Right, so now you can see that the value really doesn't change. So the value is 102 in all the cases. So the movement is restricted all across, whether it's vertical or whether it's horizontal. All right, now let's try the second method. Okay, press F4 again. Now you can see that the dollar is before 8. Now as we know, 8 is row. That means it will not move from 8 to 9 or from 8 to 7. All right, let's see how that pans out. Let's copy this to the right first. Let's do the usual way, and to the left. So as we expected, since there is no dollar before E, that means horizontal movement is open, right? So it is not going from E to F and F to G. All right, but if I copy this up and copy this down, all right, the movement is not happening, right? Because the vertical movement is restricted and horizontal movement is open. That's the reason why it's changing the reference out here. All right, now the third is to put a dollar before E. Right, now you can see that we are expecting that the horizontal movement will not happen. Right, that means if I copy this to the right or to the left, it will still show me 102. Right, so let's try that out. So if I paste it to the right, if I paste it to the left, it shows me 102. But if I paste it up and if I paste it down, right, it shows me changing referencing. Okay, so that's referencing, guys. All right, so that's relative referencing. I will quickly summarize out here 3 kinds of dollar sign. So if you're talking about any cell referencing, it will look something like this, right? And this referencing, if you just keep on changing and copying across cells, this will keep on changing depending upon where you paste it. If you want to fix the referencing, the first is the default option, which is you will put a dollar. It will look something like this. Okay, dollar before B, dollar before 8. Then if you see the next option, I might not be in the correct order as what Excel shows, but yeah, I'll try to be close. So the second is where the column is fixed, and of course the last one is where only row movement is fixed. All right, so there you go. Now let me just, yeah, so this is both column and row fixed, right? This is column fixed and this is row fixed, right? So 3 kinds of dollar sign. The shortcut key for that is F4, and if it does not work in your case, then you can use function key plus F4. The newer laptops of course nowadays do not have this issue, so you can directly press F4 and it should work. But if you're using an older laptop, then of course you might have to use the function key plus F4. Okay, it's just next to your control button, okay, in a keyboard. So just identify this should be somewhere between Alt or Control or near Shift maybe. So that's relative referencing. And a quick exercise which I'll just quickly explain to you, which I will not be doing in this video, but I will be doing in the next video, which you can watch after giving it a try. Now we just want to apply this learning to a case, right? So you can see a small calculation out here. Do not get bogged down by the terminologies here. It has nothing to do with the terminologies. But you can see that I have put in a revenue. Okay, so the revenue is 1000, and I've given a rate out here. So what I'm trying to do, trying to say is that cost is 20% of revenue, right? So since we want to make sure that we do calculations by referring, right, cell referencing, right? So we do not want to do something like this, right? So we don't want to select 1000 and multiply it with 20%, right? Or let's say just write 1000 and 20%. This would be called as hard coding. This is absolute no, right? But if you actually press F2 out here, you can see that I have put a reference, right? So it is B3 multiplied by C4, right? And the next calculation is to calculate the profit again, which is referred, which is revenue minus cost, B3 minus B4, right? Now this is one type of calculation. What I want the exercise is about, and this will be used multiple times in financial modeling, because whenever we model a certain business plan, right, rarely is the case that the business can follow a generic structure, right? The assumptions can change. The revenue might not be 1000, right? The cost might change to 30%, 40%. We never know. So trying to test different assumptions is also called as scenario analysis. All right. And if we go to the right, all right, if you see towards here, I have created a matrix in which I have put in different revenue scenarios, right? So the revenue can be either the base case scenario, which is 1000, or the revenue can be 1200, 1440, right? And similarly to 2073, right? And similarly, I have put in different types of cost percentage which might happen, right? Now, what I want you to do is in this section, right, I want you to put in the base calculation, which is by using the same formula which we used towards the left, the base case scenario, which is 1000. Okay, so we're trying to calculate the profit here. All right, 1000 minus 20% of 1000, right? Now, since we are using a spreadsheet, we really don't want to repeat doing this for every cell out here, right? It would take a really long time, right? That's not why we're using spreadsheet. Otherwise we could have done this in paper, right? So if I press enter out here, what I want you to do is I want you to take the learnings of what you learned in the previous slide, wherein we looked at three kinds of cell freeze, right? Column and row both fixed, column fixed, or row fixed. So that if I paste this across, if I just paste the base formula across, okay, it should give me the right answer. Now if I copy it, it should show me absolute rubbish. Okay, so it should show me a wrong calculation, and you can clearly see, and it's majorly happening because all the referencing, if you just put F2 out here anywhere, you will see that the referencing is incorrect, right? So what I want you to do is I want you to put the appropriate dollar signs in the base case scenario, okay, out here in the matrix, right? So I want you to put in the correct dollar signs wherever it's appropriate, and whichever you feel is correct, right? And then if you paste it across, it should show you the perfect calculation, right? So this is the exercise which I want you to do after we have obviously learned relative referencing, and the solution I will be explaining in the next video. So do give it a shot, and then I'll see you again in the next lecture. Thank you guys for watching. Bye bye.